Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we're here with more of the 2023 iRacing season content. This time round, we're here for the BMW M Hybrid V8. Yes, of course, if you missed out on the video that went live yesterday where we took the all-new AMG Mercedes W13 for a spin at the also all-new Magny-Cours circuit, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But today, we're going to be taking the new BMW LMDH car to, of course, the home. You know, LMDH, Le Mans Hybrids, and that's where we're going to be going here today, back to the 24 of Le Mans, of course, the Circuit de la Sarthe. This is basically going to be, you know, where this car is set up to drive. Of course, we're going to see it at Daytona, we're going to see it at Sebring, other circuits like that, but really excited to see how this thing will handle around this track. Of course, it's kind of caused a bit of a stir inside iRacing, because it's meant that the LMP2s have had to be nerfed slightly, so I'm not expecting this thing to be as quick as the Porsche and the Audi from the LMP1 cars. It's a shame, of course, that those cars are now sadly well and truly dead, because let's be fair, it was quite a golden generation for Le Mans prototypes. Of course, those two going up against the Toyota and even some of the Peugeots back a little bit further away, of course. Just, yeah, a really sort of magical time for world endurance. But, you know, all great things have got to come to an end at some point. GTE as well is getting scrapped in the very near future. In fact, it might be next year as well, of course, a complete shift over to GT3s. But yeah, intrigued to see how the new LMDH cars are going to go. You know, I'm really interested and intrigued by these. You know, we've got so many manufacturers coming in. You know, Ferrari, BMW, Porsche, Toyota as well, of course, are already doing a few little bits and pieces. Only 7-speed. I was expecting this thing to be an 8-speed, to be honest. If we're maxing out at just under 200 miles an hour down the straights there, I'm sure. Of course, this is again on a baseline setup, everything like that. So, you know, there will be a lot of tweaks, there will be a lot of setup changes that make this thing a whole lot quicker. But of course, yeah, if you're new around here as well, make sure you get yourself subscribed as well for more iRacing and other sim racing related content. You can see plenty of things on the bottom right hand side of your screen there that you can tweak and change around with this car. So there's going to be a lot of setup tweaking and things like that. You know, maybe I'll jump in and do some racing with this car over the course of 2023 season 1. At the moment, I need to try and protect my B license though still, so I might not even get a chance to race in these cars just yet. But of course, yeah, I mean, it's a changing world. You know, the LMP1 cars were kind of like the first modern spaceships, if you will, of, you know, sort of the hybrid technology at the forefront of motorsport. You know, that Toyota when it came onto the scene, and of course the Audi and the Porsche as well. You know, for a brief period, we're actually sort of more technologically advanced than Formula 1 cars, and of course weren't far away from them either. That's why we saw the big shift to the 2017 F1 cars, of course, because, you know, the R18 and the Porsche 919 as well was actually getting very close over one lap pace at circuits like Spa. Of course, we then had the 919 Evo that then went just a little bit quicker than Formula 1 cars very briefly around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. But yeah, LMDH though is going to be a little bit slower. You know, it's designed to be a bit more affordable and, you know, sort of pushing their technology in a very different way. Of course, you know, we're seeing big changes, you know, generally as well. So I think, you know, this is going to be a good step in the right direction. You know, the V8, I must give it credit, does still sound very good. Of course, you know, you sort of get that little bit of electric power that feeds in when you need it, you know, on the upshifts, things like that. But, you know, I don't really want to stray away completely from ICE engines. Of course, we've already got the Porsche Mission R as well in iRacing, and that car is very weird to drive, an absolute rocket ship down the straights. Of course, I did a couple of races in that, but I don't think it really was ever going to catch on in, of course, the iRacing simulator. You know, it's not really a particularly good race car at all, is it? It was basically just an electric Porsche Cup car. I think the way most people saw it, the Porsche Cup car was a bit more fun to handle around the circuit. So yeah, it kind of just came and went very quickly, but still, you know, a good fun experience nonetheless. But yeah, this thing is certainly going to sort of be at the forefront of iRacing over the next couple of years. I mean, we already see how much work BMW are doing with iRacing as well. Of course, BMW Motorsport and BS competition, things like that. So, you know, there's certainly more and more overlap between the real world and iRacing. Of course, Porsche as well are doing a lot of work, so I don't think it's going to be long before we see their LMDH car as well going up against this thing on the sim. Probably 2023 Season 2 or Season 3 at the absolute latest, I think. And I think, you know, this is going to be where iRacing is really going to try and push forward over the next couple of years, because, I mean, GTE and GT3 racing really has carried the sim along, but of course being able to do like those 6-hour endurances week in, week out, obviously around various circuits across the world in the LMP1 cars, well, having them there was a really nice addition. And I think iRacing is appreciating just how good their multi-class system is. It really isn't comparable anywhere else, especially with the ease of driver swap still, that apart from Assetto Corsa Competizione, really just isn't emulated on any other simulation title either. But, I mean, yeah, this BMW, I tell you what, it's actually been a joy to drive so far. I don't know if it's got ABS, I don't think it has. I'm definitely getting a little bit of front lock-in in a couple of places, but super easy to drive on the throttle there. Have not struggled with it whatsoever. We haven't certainly got traction control. There's plenty of different modes and options to set that up with, but of course, yeah, it's got so much downforce on it as well. Very, very quick, but it has still got this V8 and the hybrid power, so it's hardly sluggish down the straight. You definitely feel like it's got a lot more in it, though, if you got things nailed. But yeah, I am intrigued to see how it's going to compare up against the LMP2 cars. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison in a separate video at some point between this and the LMP2s, because it does feel like the LMDH is not a massive step above them in terms of performance, especially around a track like Le Mans. I don't think we got any data on what my first lap time was, but of course, as long as I don't do anything stupid in the second half of this lap, we should be able to get a representative on the board. Of course, I'm not really an LMP1 driver. I never was back in the day. I enjoy driving the LMP2s, but I don't get much of a chance to take them out. It's something I certainly want to look into down the line a bit more. But yeah, GT3s and open wheelers are kind of still my bread and butter on the iRacing sim. But yeah, this thing very, very good fun so far, and I will be interested to see how popular this car is, because it is a fantastic little driving experience in towards Indianapolis. Whoa, a little bit of locking. Just avoid the wall. There we go. Head of BMW Motorsport's not going to be too happy with me as we scuff his priceless new hybrid technology car into a wall. Very, very low speed there. We didn't even get a 0x for contact, so I think we got away with that one. But yeah, we'll certainly upset our lap time just a little bit. But yeah, fantastic little driving experience, this thing, of course, around the Le Mans circuit. I think it is going to be, maybe a little bit more of a handful around some of the tighter tracks. I think Daytona is going to be this car's first big test, of course, in 2023. So yeah, I personally don't think I'm going to be doing Daytona in this car. I'm probably, if I'm going to be doing it in anything, still be rocking a GT3 car. So we've definitely lost some of the front downforce as we'll raise the wall through the chicanes, the Porsche curve, sorry, even I should say, towards the end of the lap. So yeah, what we'll do, we'll head back into the pit lane. I'll try and go out for an aggressive lap time then around this circuit, so it'll allow you guys to listen to the onboards from this car. But yeah, very, very good fun. A much more simple driving experience than I was actually ever expecting from it, but still feels very, very race car-y, still sort of on the limit, and it takes the curbs well. That is certainly an important thing around Le Mans. But yeah, let's go back to the pit lane then. I'll wind this thing up, we'll go out for a proper lap, and hopefully you guys enjoy. Right, well, this is going to be my first proper lap then with this thing on full deploy, so we'll wait and see as to how we fare around this lap. I'm going to try and go qualifying mode, but I feel like it might use a bit too much battery. Le Mans is a difficult track just to try and manage all of this. into your curb through the final corner up towards the line, though, and he's going to give me a slowdown, but I'm not too worried. The lap time in the end will be... I reckon still a 3:42, so I'll leave whatever time we actually set up on your screens. But yeah, very, very good fun car, though. Actually, the BMW, very, very different to how I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be a bit more of a handful, but actually, yeah, very, very fun car to drive. Let me know whether you're going to be picking this thing up down below. Like I said, I might, if I've got the license, I might actually try and do a bit of racing in this car as well. So yeah, definitely get yourself subscribed for more iRacing content, and yeah, we will be back very, very soon then. We'll be back tomorrow, testing out the all-new Toyota GR86. That's going to be good fun, something very, very different to the two sort of absolutely mind-boggling cars that we've driven so far. And battery usage, we still had 60% battery left at the end of that lap. This thing has got a lot of juice.